Hey, what's up guys, this is 3D Bonfire back with an amazing tutorial. This time we will do this Frosty Ice Cold Electric Magic Hand. Yes, it's a new tutorial and I think this effect is quite beautiful. Yeah, what can I say? So this is a really cool technique, right? We will build different emitters, so I just call that systems, and mixing them together we achieve quite beautiful complexity. So maybe I just show you something what inspired me. So of course you have seen Insidium the sneak peek when you are into X particles. Just check this one. Alright, also nice sound.
XP flow field.
Yeah, alright. So the incredible Bob Wormsley. Alright, so this hand inspired me.
It's been updated to be.
I think they more or less did the same. They have a couple more particles. The turbulence is set a little bit different, but yeah, maybe this result is not so bad either, okay? So I just show you. So we will combine different emitters, okay? So you can see something like this, like that. This is a second emitter. We will add trails, different trails. So we will add illuminated trails, non-illuminated trails, and additional spawning. So of course you can put even more particles in it to achieve more complexity, more density, but I think this is already quite pleasing. And the magic lies in the flow field technique, so you can align your particles flowing on the hand. So here's a variation where the flow field is set to a higher value, and you can see you have even more aligned splines to the surface. So yeah, go for whatever you like here. So the technique is amazing and I think we can almost start here. Just quickly, I'm really sorry guys, so this time the second part will be Patreon exclusive, so you know me as 3D Bonfire. And in the second part, we will talk mostly about Octane and making it beautiful, so this will be exclusive, but I will make sure you get really the best out of the tutorial right here on YouTube for free. So yeah, but if you are interested, check this one out. Also on Patreon you will get my lighting course for Octane, but the techniques they apply to all render engines, so this is where I just talk about for almost 50 minutes about how to light your scene, making it beautiful. Some nice little techniques in this one. By the way, the sound in the electric hand result this time is from Mojo Audio. He's really a super nice sound guy, so I just give him a shout out here. This is my Instagram. And by the way, so the hand model you will find on Scan the World, my mini factory. It's just an amazing site for free models. So yeah, free. So you can see this all is just amazing. If you like cats, you like dancers or skulls, dinosaurs, so a lot of cool stuff. And you already can see I use the mighty hand here. So just click on it and oh, slow internet. Download it, it's for free. Give this one a shout out, maybe support him. Yeah, it's amazing. Alright, so now I think it is time to just go straight into Cinema 4D, right? So let's have fun, guys. Alright guys, so finally we are in a new fresh Cinema 4D scene, and you can see I already put in my mighty hand from myminifactory.com. I think this is the right address. So you can see I have a beautiful hand here, and when we go to the lines shading, you can see this is already quite dense. So maybe if you want to work with collisions and stuff, maybe it would be preferable to just maybe use a Polygon Reduction and put it inside there. Just wait, I think it's 5 seconds. Yes, there we go. So you can see this is already reduced by quite a lot. And I think we will just use this model. So go back to 0. Alright, so I just press C, put it out of the null. Alright, so this will be a basic object. I think we can already just set up everything. So I have a null object in the center of the hand. Maybe I just move it just a little bit. So this feels more centered, maybe there. All right. And we just use a camera, put it in the null, look through it. We could also set some Instagram format up, so something square. Press Shift C and go to View, put this to 99 so we can see our proportions. I think this is already a good setup. Maybe we go to 200 frames, or maybe to 10. So we have 7 seconds of animation. And you can see, so now we can easily rotate it here. The position we don't really want to change now. And yes, so we could set something up like, let's see, maybe we want to start from an angle like, just go a bit closer, something like this. Yes, all right. And go to something like, no, something like this. I don't know. So yeah, just a little rotation here. And just to center it better, we start with something like this and go to something like, maybe something like this. So, all right, this is working for me. Give me a playback. Okay, almost centered. Yes, just to have a couple of different angles on it. And of course, you could already put an, should I already start with Octane? No, I don't think so. So lighting would be something for later. So now we will start with an X particles system. All right. Okay, so just get out of the camera. And I think a couple of things are distracting here. So maybe we go to filters, deactivate the camera. In the XP system, we will deactivate the, where is it? The icon in viewport. So we don't really need that. Okay, we have an emitter here. Go back to Goro shading. And we want to emit from the object, right? So we go to emitter shape, go to object. Emitter shape object is correct. And the object, we just use the mighty hand. I just call this one low. So this is the reduced version. Yes, it is. And now we have, yeah, almost there. So maybe you're already satisfied with this technique, so you can stop there. But I think we can push it further. So just reduce the speed a little bit. Okay, and put in maybe 10,000 particles. All right, it's time for some magic. So go to generators. No. Go to, oh man, where is it? Where is the flow field? All right, finally found it. It's in dynamics. You go here and go to the flow field. All right, so we have a beautiful flow field to the left. That's not really what we want. So maybe we can reduce this one. We don't need it that big. All right, that's better. I think we already can reduce the cell size to get more precision in it. And I think we should also go to the magic lies in surface tangent. Ooh, what did I do wrong? All right, stupid me. Yes, I was totally confused. What is happening? I don't understand it. But yes, you need to put your object into it. So just put it there. And now this looks already way more pleasing. Okay, so yes, this is getting complex quite fast. So what we really need to do here is maybe we go to particles are quite fast, so let's put them to 15 and 10 is okay. Yes. To get more precision into your animation, I would prefer to go to the flow field and put it to 10. So, okay, maybe you can hear my ventilators from the computer. They just speed up for a minute, for a second. So now we have more precision in it. And I think all these errors are quite distracting. And to be honest, we don't need a fall off here. So the energy of the flow field shouldn't go down. So we want the effect to be over the whole area. So now I guess we should go to deactivate the vectors because they are quite distracting. Alright, so what do we have here? Alright, so maybe we should go to the emission and say we don't need that particles to live forever. Yes, something like this, 60 and 20. And how about double the amount of the particles? Alright, so okay, so it's a start, but it is very diffuse. So maybe we could also go to the flow field and go to the cell size and reduce it to 5. So this is a little bit CPU intense, so you can hear my machine crying in the background. I'm sure you have a more powerful CPU than I do. So let's see. Alright, so by reducing the cell size, we get more precision into it. But it is still quite diffuse, and maybe let's see what will happen if we go to 100,000 particles. Okay, so this is beautiful, but I think we can do better. So maybe now would be time to create some materials. Alright, maybe now it would be time to emit from a texture and not from the polygon area, because I think, let's see, oh, we emit from polygon center, so go to polygon area. Let's see this result. Yeah, more or less it's the same, so pretty diffuse look here. So I would say it would be preferable to emit from the texture. That's why we create a texture here and go to the Luminance channel. So we use this to emit from. And I would say just put a noise into it, put the contrast to the maximum, and go back to 0, put it on the hand. Alright, this computer is killing me, so give it just a second. Don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but this the ventilators or vents, how you would call them, I think, yeah, what's the right word? Something of that. They speed up quite heavily. Okay, so I think to really have that it is working correctly, we need to first maybe create some generate some UV coordinates. I'm not sure if this is necessary. I would just do it. Alright, so now we have a noise on our hand, and you can see the viewport and the rendering doesn't really match up, so I think you should put this one to 2D. Let's see. Now it is matching, and I think this is too big. Yes, maybe something like that. I mean, we just emit from the white parts on it, so go back to the material and go there and just maybe reduce the brightness. So these will be the spots that we will emit from. I think this pattern is quite cool for me. Yes, some stretching, but we don't care about this one. So go back to your emitter, set this one to texture, go to texture, and just drag in the texture tag. We don't need to influence the color here, but we want to emit from the luminance channel. So let's see. Yes, just emit from these parts. And to see it better, I just create a basic material, put it on top, give it a second. All right, and you can see I just emit from different areas there. Maybe to see it better, I just make this one really dark, the material, and the colors. No reflectance. All right, so we have more definition already in the pattern here, but I think we could also go to the luminance and reduce the global scale of these points to something like 20. And now we have even smaller areas here we emit from, and by that we get more definition in these lines and overall the particle behavior. I think I like that. Put it to 20. All right, so quite a good start, but we can do better here. So I think these ones, the particles. So now we need to work with some modifiers. And I think what we really need to do first is some scale modifiers. So you don't want to have the particles over all the time with the same size. That's why for now we just need to check the size of them, and for that you don't need a mode like dots, but something like circles. Now you can see the particle radius, and this is quite high. Put it to 1, put it to 0.2. What am I doing? Okay. Maybe we go to the scale modifier and set this one to set a value. Or maybe, no, set a value sounds good for me. Put it to 0.2. Now you can see we have, so this is defining particle radius. This is how big your particles are. I think 0.2 is quite a good radius, maybe 0.4. All right, but you don't want them to come out with the full size and just disappear. But so when lifetime is over for them, they just pop out of existence. You don't want to have that. So for this reason, we go to scale and you go to the mapping. Now you think this is something advanced, but to be honest, yeah, it's quite super simple to understand, okay? So first, we want the particles to have different variation in radius. Therefore, we go to the emitter, go to extended data, physical data, and this is just a placeholder for some information in it. So when you give a temperature of 50 and a variation of 50, the less ones will have 0, the maximum ones will have 100. So think of this just as a placeholder. Now we go to XP scale. Now we say, what can we say here? So maybe the radius value should be mapped to the temperature. So all the particles in this emitter will have different temperature values. And we will use this just to give them random size variations. All right, so 0 to 100, I think, is this already working? Yes, so you can see they have a maximum of 100 and a minimum of 0 or 1 in this case. So you can see particles have more variation and randomness is always the key to beautiful particle animations. So next, I would say we don't want them to have the same size over the whole time. Therefore, we can add another mapping And this time, let's see. This time we say radius value. Oh no, I'm sorry. Radius value over the age. Okay, so this one, should this work already? Yes, you can see they come out with 0 and they grow up. But the range of the age, let's see, how long will these particles live? So they live, just let's say they live for 90 frames, all right? So now this is fitting to the maximum age of 90, but I think we need an extra point in the middle to scale them up from 0 when they are born, scale up quite rapidly to their maximum size, and then go down to 0 again. Let's see. Yes, so now you have particles coming from 0 to their full size and disappear without just popping into non-existence here. So this is already working. So what can we do next here? Alright, so this is a quite pleasing start here. Maybe for now, just to work faster, we reduce it by 90% to go back to 10,000 particles. So you can see these particles are already working quite nicely, if this is a word that fits here. So I think next we should just put in some turbulence. I mean, magic always lies in different turbulence effectors. So we have turbulence here, but this is messing up the speed of the particles completely. And I think if you go to turbulence, let's see. So turbulence won't affect the speed of the particles, but will affect the direction and the behavior. So this is more of something they did in the Insidium sneak peek, where they had lots of turbulence, to be honest. Maybe make it even smaller. Yeah, I mean, this is not the right look. Maybe just to see it better, we go to 30,000 particles. This turbulence obviously is too small. And to be honest, if you have something like an display mode like circles, this will slow down your frame rate per second quite massively, at least if you have a poor CPU like I do. So if you go back to dots, this should be already way faster. So I think this will triple the playback here. And now you can see this looks like some flies. So this turbulence totally messes it up. Let's see. Yes, that's better. That is better. But we want some turbulence, but the turbulence needs to be scaled up. Let's see. Yes, okay, so almost working for me, maybe 150. I think this is better. So I think this better suits the look we are going for. And to be honest, the particles shouldn't all the time emit from this area and this area. So therefore we just go to the noise and put in some animation. So the areas where particles emitted from, they will vary over time. And yes, so this is already better. We have some turbulence and some scaling. And I think next we should, what should we do next? Maybe we will work with some spawning. So yes, see you in the next step. Alright, so let's see what we can do here to achieve an even better result. So maybe I just duplicate this particle and call it, I'm not in control of my keyboard. So spawn from. Let's see. This one is controlling our spawning. So let's just start with some decent numbers here. Let's try something like 1000. Okay. Okay, now I just need to focus myself a little bit. So I think what we can do, let's go to Modifiers and go to, I think it's in Generate, and I think we go to Spawn. So Spawn, Spawning Emitter, add Spawn Emitter. Alright, beautiful effect. Not so good with spelling today, so we have a spawn emitter. And I think the problem here is, yes, so the spawn emitter will emit from this emitter, so it will use these particles to spawn from, okay? And I think the problem is that these particles are a bit too fast, so maybe just give it a speed of 10 and 5. So now you can see from these particles, this one will spawn additional particles. This is getting super dense here. So I think let's go to the spawn modifier where you define the number of particles. And I think when they spawn, we can kill the original particle. And let's see. Okay, so that actually means from all the particles that are spawned here, that are emitted here, we spawn a couple of more particles. And you have this number in the modifier here, so we emit maybe 1500 in variation. So lots of new particles there. And I think when you go to something like, not direction, spawn particle speed relative to source particle. What does this change? Oh, okay. Wow, this is actually pretty cool. So super explosive. This effect I didn't use this one, but if we go to the lifespan and just put this one to 15 and 5, let's see. Wow, so I mean this is also a pretty cool effect, like some firework on the hand, right? But I see some potential for another tutorial here, but we don't really want to use this one. So I would say the particle speed just inherit the speed, and maybe absolute. This is working for me. Okay, go back to this one, put this one to maybe they can live a little bit longer, something like that. And all right, so I'm missing something here. So go back to the spawn. Let's see. Spawn particles determined by emitter. No, that's stupid. Use offset value. No. Direction. Oh, I think this is the important step I was missing. So relative to source particle direction. Let's see. Yes, so now they are not going into a circular pattern here, but they will go into the direction of the source particle. And now we slowly, when this is building up, get some beautiful lines. So I think I also can give this even more lifespan. And let's see. Yes. Okay. I think I will make a noise. I will make a noise variation here. And with this one, we just use a little bit more of the emitting space here. So I will give it more of the white parts. And I would just use another seed to get some different complexity in it. And for this one, so in the emitter spawn from, we go to the texture. And yes, so first we duplicate the original noise and put the noise variation on it. So just give it a second. My computer is really slow. So you can see I put another noise there with more of the white parts, and I will just move the black on top that we don't be distracted by it. So just do it like this. Alright, so we have two different noises on our hand, two different textures. And now we can say this emitter will emit from another texture. So you can see I just put this one in, and this is the noise variation. Now the leading particles, which will drive the spawning, emit from more different areas on the hand. So, and now you should have some more variation here. Wow, okay. So, man, this is looking beautiful. So I think, to be honest, this spawning technique is the real secret of this complexity here. And for that, you don't really need the newest X-Particle version. You can do it with older versions too. Alright, so maybe to even enhance it, we go to the spawning, the leading particles, and maybe put in more of them. Let's see what happens with 30,000. This is way too much. Yeah, so sadly, my CPU is slowing down massively. So go to 5,000. Yes. So this is getting a lot of detail. Just wait for a second. Alright, I just wanted to wait for 120 frames, and you can see, so this is giving it a really beautiful pattern here. And yes, so this is nice complexity. So the true power of the system to get complexity, I think it's to use the spawn emitter here. The original emitter is also adding something, but spawning, that's where the power lies. So yes, next I think we need some trails. Alright, so for the trails, I think we should use another noise variation here. So I just grab the original material, duplicate it, and call it noise trails. So therefore we go into the material, maybe you just change the global scale and give it some arbitrary seed. So this will be our new noise material, and why don't we just put it onto our hand. Alright, and you can see the new emitting pattern. I just put the black material on top so we are not distracted. Alright, and for overview, we just go back to the frame 0. Okay, so next I think we just duplicate one of these emitters. And I just give it some naming that at least I will understand it. So go there, and maybe we start with 1,000 particles. Okay. Okay, so these ones, they shouldn't be affected by the spawning emitter. Also, our original emitter shouldn't be influenced by the spawning. So now go back to the trails one. So okay, we have a couple of particles there, and I think we just need some, where is it, in generators, I guess, the trails. Give it the trails and use this emitter for starting them. Alright, so now we have some beautiful trails, but also we have a little problem here with them just disappearing when lifetime of the leading particles will go to 0. And therefore, yes, I also have a technique for you. So let me see how to solve this one. Alright, so how can we stop these ones from just disappearing? I think we should go to our trails, and now we need to ask some questions. And the questions we will ask is the age of the particle. So let's see, what did we set here? We give them a lifespan of 90, and therefore we go here, it's greater than 90. Does this make sense? I don't think so. So how about is within time of death? I mean, you can ask different questions here, but let me just try this one. Is within time of death age 70? I just need to test this one, give it an action, and maybe we use an object action and change trails. Trail object to change. Alright, so let's drag this one in, set it to shrink trails. So look at this one. Alright, I mean, this is already working, but I just get rid of the hand, the viewport. Alright, so to be honest, this hand with the noise on it, if I deactivate the visibility, this is giving me massive slowdowns. So I just decided to completely make it invisible, duplicate it, and just make it black here. So now I can switch it on and off without losing speed performance. Alright, so now we need to talk about these trails, and I think they are too short. And yes, so maybe we ask this question and get an action here. Shrink the trails. Let's go back here. Let's see what happens when I put it to 30. Put it to 40. Yes, so I won't explain everything about it. You just need to play with the settings here. Of course, you can say is greater than and then just start the shrinking. For some reasons, I decided to go with is within time of death. I thought this will give me more variation here. But yeah, just to be honest, this is working for me. So you can see when the time is coming for the particles to die, they also shrink the trails. So this is beautiful, and we don't have this stupid popping of the trails. So we already have a solution there. And yes, so we have some trails. Maybe for trails, let's see, where's our trail object? Trails. I just call this one light because I want some of these trails to be with a luminant material and some of them with a non-luminant material. And I would say the aspect ratio is 1 to 10. So 1 light trail comes up to 10 non-lit trails. This is just a good ratio for me. So I would say what are we going to do here? So we need to duplicate this one for trails. This wording gets a little bit more complex here, but we have another emitter for trails that are not emitting light. Okay, so first I would say put this one to 100. Let's see. So we have a couple of these ones, but we have 10 times of them for non-lit trails. Noise trails, this is okay. So now I would say again, so we just duplicate trails here, and I call these ones no light. Man, no, I don't know what's wrong today. No light here. All right. So, and in this one, we grab the other emitter. Yes, that seems to work for me. Alright, so we have trails for the light, the not light. We have some spawned emitters and some original emitter here. And maybe just one last thing, so deactivate everything. Nothing is there. So this is our original emitter, which is emitting from the noise pattern 1 on the hand. Okay. Alright. And I think I just want another one. Emit from polys. So this is emitting from the noise. And I can tell you why I always spell it wrong. It's because my microphone is right in front of the keyboard. I just can't see it. Okay. So this is emitting from the noise. And we want another one for a more diffuse emitting of particles from the polys. So you can see the noise pattern. But this one, I just switch it to emit from the area. Yes, just to have particles everywhere. And if you mix them together, you have some definition, but also particles in other areas. So this is working for me. So let's see what can we do next here. Maybe it is time to activate Octane. So yeah, see you in the next part. Okay, maybe I just do a little recap here. So I think by now you have all the building blocks at your fingertips. So the secret lies in combining different emitters together. And you can see I used standard emitters, some spawning and some trails. So actually we just use systems like this. This is emitting from the noise pattern. This one is emitting from the whole polygon area. This one are the illuminated trails. This is the non-illuminated trails. And this is the spawning on top of it. And yeah, you can make variations here. So the variations, as I already mentioned, they are produced by using the flow field and just changing the strength of it. So this is, I would say, with 10% strength, and this is with 90% strength. Alright, so yeah, this is pretty simple. Alright guys on YouTube, let's wrap this up. So by now you should have all the technical foundations to do this effect. Just be creative with it, change the values, and as I mentioned, the most important would be to go into your flow field and change the strength. Also the turbulence settings, the speed, everything, yeah, needs just some artistic sense of you. So yeah, play with different objects, skulls, fruits, vegetables, humans, animals, maybe a cat would be amazing. So yes, if you want to know how to do it in Octane, make it beautiful, some tips for the lighting and the materials, the texturing of the particles and the trails. Yes, this is Patreon exclusive, but for you on YouTube, I just hope you learn something beautiful and enjoy this technique. Thank you so much for listening and have fun with it. Goodbye.